Welcome, everyone. Nice to see you joining. My name is Tara Healey. I am the founder and director of Point 32 Health's mindfulness program. And Point 32 Health is the parent company of Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. And welcome to our Thursday morning gathering. If you haven't already, go ahead and take a moment to open up the chat, and from the drop-down menu, select everyone. And for anybody that's new, a very warm and special welcome to you. These sessions are fully guided. They're usually about 12 minutes or so in length. And every Thursday morning, my friend and colleague, John Roberts, joins. And I am going to turn it over to John for announcements and updates. And John, take it away.
Okay. Well, Tara, as you may know, this past Tuesday, we kicked off our weekly Tuesday sessions in February with Mary Starr Green, entitled Mindful Movement for Happier Joints and Muscles. Now, here's the thing. If you're thinking to yourself, oh my goodness, I wish I had seen that. Well, it's not too late. I'm going to put into the chat a link where you can watch the recording. Also, a link where you can join next week's session, and get this, a link where you can add next week's session to your calendar. I was actually watching the recording this morning. I was getting a little bit limbered up for this very moment, as it were. It was a wonderful session. And during that, Mary and I were just chatting about what we do during winter to stay feeling cozy, keep that cozy feeling within ourselves. And so we decided to pitch that question over to our Living Well Facebook community. We asked them to comment, what do you do in the deep reaches of midwinter to stay cozy? And Tara, we got some great responses. Jen says her cozy go-tos are comfort food, her Ugg slippers, and a good rom-com movie. On that last point, I just watched The Fall Guy with Ryan Gosling with my wife, and it manages to be a rom-com that also has speedboat explosions. So it's got a little bit something for everyone in it. Matt says he stays cozy by making homemade hot pot. Louise Marie agrees. She says, love making soup. We're big fans of cooking at home, and soups and chilies are always on the menu. Karen's on board with that. She says, this is soup stew season for me. At a side of warm, fresh bread, a fire in the fireplace, and a good book, and I'm set for the entire weekend. That sounds like a good weekend. Maybe that's just my age talking. I'm like, that's perfect. Christine's perfect. All in as well. Well, she says she's got a great heated blanket and a good book. And a different Tara says she has her own personal heated weighted blanket in the form of her 60-pound black lab pup. Finally, Angelique says, a few years ago, I picked up crocheting again. The first thing I made was a blanket specifically to support cozy winter hibernation. She says it also makes a solid blanket fort for moments when such a thing becomes necessary. Tara, what do you do? What's your cozy go-to?
Well, I mean, John, I love to read, and so I usually have a good book going. Although right now I just got John Lewis, A Life, about the story of his, and it's really, really compelling, really good. So yeah, I mean, and I cook, so I make lots of soups, and I have a great chili recipe.
Okay, so what is I know people get very sort of what's the word? They get very partisan about their chili.
Yes.
Like beans, no beans,
Yeah.
meat, no meat. What kind of meat? What is do you have
Yeah, well, so mine is a recipe from a woman her name is Jean Lemlin. She just does tons of vegetarian cookbooks, although I don't think she's come out with one in a while, but that was her first. And it is, you use, instead of meat, bulgur wheat. And so like, it's always better the next day, and the bulgur kind of plumps up a little bit in the stew, and beans for sure. And I've started like soaking and making my own beans, which has been they're just a little better, although I do like the canned option because it's easy.
So I gotta ask you, when you make the beans, do you use the bean juice or do you discard it?
I'm so new at doing beans. I've been discarding. So I don't know, should I save?
Sometimes I throw a little bit of it in the chili.
But okay.
But that gives it a sort of a super beany taste. Also, if you make a chickpea juice, that's not right, juice, but the you know, the liquid
Yeah.
that chickpeas are in, you can whip that up and create a golly, what it's a replacement for something.
For eggs?
Maybe, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because
Why am I
John,
blanking on that?
I just
Yeah,
heard
that's
that.
it. Aquafaba. I
Oh
was
my
gonna, I
gosh.
was gonna
Oh
say it.
yes,
That was like, it's like
David.
toboggan.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sure that's not a real word. Yes, aquafaba. That's
Yes.
exactly right.
Yeah, there was a story
Thinking of
about
it.
that, I think on NPR somewhere, but yeah, really interesting,
And I want
especially with
folks.
the egg situation, John.
Well, yes. Okay. Well, yes, I try. Yes. Yes, I try to. Some things I attempt not to worry about, like uh, the next pandemic, as it were.
Well, yeah, John,
But
we have a lot of farms around, so
right,
we're able to get eggs, not necessarily from the grocery store.
right. Well, I mean, we should, I'm not sure what the best way to do it is, but that's a discussion for another day. I just put in the chat the link to our Facebook community in case any folks
Thank you,
want to join that
John.
discussion. Tara, may I, if you don't mind, may I tell you what I do to stay cozy? It's
Yeah, please.
I have a visual aid. Hang on, it's gonna
Oh,
take
good.
a second here.
Nice.
I
Oh,
am a dedicant of the, yeah, that's right. Okay, here we go.
oh,
Here we go.
John.
The slanket.
Oh,
The slanket.
oh,
That's right, folks. The blanket with sleeves. You might be saying, John, that's just a Snuggie. They sell those on television at like 3 a.m. No, incorrect. Snuggie claims to be the original sleeved blanket, but it was not. In fact, Snuggie was sued for deceptive marketing practices several
oh,
years ago. The blanket
wow.
has been proudly made in Maine since the 90s. And it's a wonderful thing for when you're meditating. This is true. You can wear this as you
John,
your cushion.
that
And
is really
people
nice.
come to the door and you don't want to look like a freak, you can just switch it around and pretend that you are wearing a robe the entire time. So this is
Wow, it's
I'm in the
versatile.
tank for Slanket, Tara. That's
It's quite versatile, John.
it does it all. I don't know what it doesn't do, to be honest. Yes, thank you. It does. Yeah, it makes you look like a Franciscan monk, Sarah. That's right. If you have a nice little robed or braided rope around it, it kind of enhances.
Yes, perfect
Uh,
garb for.
my hairline gets a little bit more like St. Francis every day, but that's another thing for maybe I'll shave my head during the next pandemic. We'll see how that works out. Tara, it's always such a pleasure to be with you, and I thank you
John,
for
thank you
allowing
so much
me
for the updates.
to pop in. Have a wonderful meditation, and I will see you very soon. Okay.
Thanks,
Thanks, everyone.
John. Okay, everybody. Let's go ahead and get right into it. And just even with that little bit of banter back and forth with John, it's very likely that you're going to feel some reverberation in the body from that, something physically going on, tingling, buzzing, something. So let's go ahead and take a posture, and you can lie down, you can be seated, you can stand, your eyes can be open or closed. So taking a moment to, just like allow yourself to arrive. So letting go of all that has happened so far this morning, releasing anticipation of what's to come, and just allow yourself to fully arrive, nowhere else to be and nothing else to do, really taking uh, advantage of this time that you've set aside for yourself. And the other thing I would say is just we're not trying to bring on any particular type of feeling or emotion. We're trying to see if we can be present with whatever we're feeling. So go ahead and settle in with a spine that is straight but not stiff. Surrender your weight into the support of the surface and into the support of the ground. Really feel that you're being held by the ground below. Notice the points of contact along the back of the body and the surface. And bringing full awareness to the whole body and noticing what sensations are occurring? So pulsing, vibration, tingling, perhaps there's a tightness or a coolness or a warm, really allowing yourself to just turn toward and fully feel into whatever your body is offering. Without commentary. So there's really, this is a full receptive kind of awareness. So whole body, just fully receiving and receptive to the various sensations that are occurring from the activity we've had so far this morning. And let's expand awareness to include sound that is occurring in the room or perhaps outside of the room that you're in. And again, an allowance, a receptivity, no need to label what's making the sound, but just engaging, hearing. And if you haven't already, take a couple deep breaths as a way to help yourself settle in, making your exhalation a little longer than your inhalation. And I'm going to take us through a sweep of the body, just noticing sensation. So starting now at the very top of the head. And as we move through regions of the body, just noticing what's there, seeing if you can soften and receive, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant. Maybe it's kind of somewhere neutral uh, on a continuum. So the top of the head, coming down over the sides and the back of the head, and coming around to the face, and the eyes and the nose, the jaw, mouth and tongue, receiving, softening, and coming down over the neck and shoulders, upper arms, forearms and hands. Again, just isolating this part of your body, receiving whatever is happening. Coming around to the torso. So the front of the body, the back of the body, internally, allowing whatever is occurring, receiving. And dropping the resistance, noticing as we move through the body when resistance or commentary is present, and just allow that in too, right? So we just keep backing up, moving over the hips and thighs, the knees, the lower legs, and the feet. And releasing that, coming back to the whole body for a moment. And finally, for the remainder of the practice, let's find an anchor, knowing that the mind will wander. We will at some point notice it's wandered. We will release the narrative, soften our bodies, and return to an anchor. An anchor can be breath sensation anywhere in the body. It's easiest for you to track, to feel. So rise and fall of the abdomen, chest, nostrils, or someplace else. Could be the carriage of the body. You could also take the palms of your hands, rest them on the top of your thighs, or hold your hands, making contact together. Could be the soles of your feet, could also be sound. So take a moment and select an anchor. Noticing where your mind is. Just gently release the memory or the planning, the storyline. Full awareness to the body, soften and reposture yourself if needed and return. And again, where is the mind? Release, soften, and return. And as we bring this meditation to a close, may we be peaceful and at ease. May our heart be soft and open. May we be safe and protected, and our bodies healthy and strong. And may whatever good comes of our practice be a benefit to all beings. And I'd like to close with a poem that I think I have read before, but you can just take your attention, moving from whatever object you've been using to the words. This is by Ingrid Madoff. The moon is luminous even without our notice. Yes, even when we don't look up or pay it any mind. With or without our awareness, its beckoning beauty remains. What else in life is like this? So taking a moment, if the eyes were closed, to open the eyes. And so we've got, we have a little bit of time. So we've got like 8 minutes or so to share resources. So book or an app or podcast that you've listened to recently that you want to share, or of course to ask a question, anything at all related to practice. And normally I go to the Tuesday sessions, and Mary Star Green is such a wonderful teacher, but I missed yesterday, or I missed Tuesday rather. And I'm curious if anybody attended. I'll watch it. I think today would actually be a perfect day to do some chair yoga. But also curious to see if there's anybody on Zoom this morning that attended. So questions, sharing podcasts, books, links, apps, anything. Oh, good. Oh, awesome. Yeah. Oh, good. Thanks for letting me know. I love all the descriptors. Um, and I'm not surprised. She's so good, and she's been at it for a long, long time. And the sessions are being recorded. Yeah, Jamie. So I'll do that today. Nice, Denise. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate knowing and just what the experience was like. I really try not to miss any of those Tuesday sessions because the lineup for the rest of the year is so good. And then of course we have the researcher the last Tuesday of the month, and it's Emma Seppala. It's Seppala out of Yale, and worth a Google. And she's really, really amazing. Oh, Good Life Project. Yeah, Sean, I had that at one point, but have not listened to it in quite a while. Hey, Sarah, if you go up the chat, you'll see that John posted where the sessions are recorded. Okay, good. A Psalm for the Wild built by Becky Chambers, fiction, but it's kind of been, that's good to know. I'm gonna, so, Sarah, you should, just scroll up and you should see it, but it's on the Mind the Moment YouTube channel. So you can see it there. And just, you can send me a message if you don't find it, and we'll make sure to get it to you. Yeah, so anybody who wants to see it, yeah, just scroll right up this chat and you can do a copy paste. Marie, thanks. That's yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get it out of my library. Yeah, that's I usually have like a couple of books going. I don't know if anybody else does that, but I often will have I've been reading a book also called The Book of Delights by Ross Gay. And he's got another one called The Book of, and then in parentheses, More Delights by Ross Gay. He's really, really fantastic. And I was listening last night to Krista Tippett, the podcast on Being, where she interviews him. So I don't know if anybody knows Ross Gay, but he's great. Oh, Colleen, nice to know that you're doing that. And Dan, so the core of the story. Okay, what do people need? Love it. Let's see what time. Okay, 8:57. We still have a couple minutes. So anybody else reading anything or inspired by something? You know, one of the things that is nice about this time of year, and even like this day in particular, the snow seems to be coming down a little bit harder now, is that it just feels like I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, and yet this like January, February feel like such perfect times for contemplation, for quiet. Um, and I don't know who was on yesterday, but we were talking about stillness actually helps us settle. So I was sitting a retreat at the Insight Meditation Society. This was a while ago, and they took a jar with mud and water and they shook it up and they left it on the stage day after day after day. And then you could see the separation. And there is this is what we're doing here also, is just we're allowing for the busyness, which I think is one of the reasons meditation can be so hard, is we just don't want to feel the unsettledness often. But there's such value in just allowing. Mel Robbins' podcast. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah, she's been getting a lot of press lately. The Book of Haig. I don't know that. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Um, but thank you. That's also another great idea. But just sort of going back to, stillness and without other distractions, meditation can feel really hard because we are creating space for a lot to arise. And that's like thoughts, emotion, challenging thoughts, emotions, and various body sensations. And what is the nugget of this practice is just seeing if you can receive and allow what is occurring, whether you like it or you don't like it, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant. Seeing if you can sort of put your toe in the water of the discomfort and just fully experience it. So kind of coming out of the stories and the narratives about it and just fully allow. So that's like a good word that I often use. And I also want to say to everybody, like, this is the practice that I do. I don't have it figured out. I am not without emotional and physical pain. I am not without various stories. I think the biggest thing for me over time is that I've just learned to relate to those in a little bit of a different way that gives me a little bit more balance at times. And reading Mark Nepo's. Okay, another good one. These are great. Thank you, everybody. We're at the top of the hour. So thanks for showing up. Really good turnout this morning, and I value this group and the sharing. And I just be safe today. Have a good weekend, and hopefully see you on Tuesday at Mary's session. So she'll be the next 2 Tuesdays, and then the last Tuesday will be Emma. All right, everybody. Bye.